On Friday, the 7th of December, the Charity Walk for Peace hosted numerous charities at the Bet El Fatou Mosque for a Cheque presentation. Charity Walk for Peace, organised by Majlis Ansar UK, has been at the forefront of supporting numerous UK charities of all sizes. Since 1998, over £5 million has been raised for various causes through the walk. The formal session of the event began with a recitation of the Holy Quran.
والجار ذي القربى والجار الجنب والصاحب بالجنب وابن السبيل.
The welcome address was delivered by Dr. Ijaz Rahman, the National President of Majlis Ansar UK.
On behalf of Ahmadiyya Muslim Elders Association, it is my honor and privilege to welcome and thank all our partners, volunteers and friends to this year's Charity Walk for Peace reception. We raised over £500,000 in 2016, 685,000 in 2017, and this year we have reached the magical mark of 1 million with your efforts and support.
Mr. Zahir Ahmed, the chairman of Charity Walk for Peace, gave an introduction to the event.
Thank you to the charities who are also working hard on the Charity Walk for Peace platform, thereby collecting funds for their own charities. This true and wonderful integration, this partnership, not only helps those less fortunate, but it spreads the wonderful message of defending the dignity of mankind. Thank you very much.
Over 600 guests were in attendance at the event, including representatives of over 150 UK registered charities, members of Parliament, and various other dignitaries. Various guest speakers also spoke at the event, offering words of support and appreciation of the fundraising efforts of the community.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here amongst friends, and it's a pleasure to be here on an occasion where the Ahmadi Muslim community have managed to raise £1 million for charities around the country and beyond.
As you will all know, it's a really hard time for the charitable and voluntary sector just at the moment, with councils cuts in their budgets, ever trying to push money further. Often it can be the voluntary sector that is at the front of the queue to have its money cut. So the money that the community has raised will be even more needed and even more welcome than it ever has been.
It is incredibly heartwarming to be here tonight to hear about those who are involved in building relationships, building community cohesion, working with ourselves, working with our partners, and in particular working with each other. And it's an absolute pleasure to be here for something on such a heartwarming note. So thank you very much.
The Charity Walk for Peace is very special in so many ways. To get so many people together to walk for peace and to raise money for so many charities in the exemplary way that the Ahmadi Muslim community does is really something special. I've never seen anything quite like it. I think it's probably unique. And so I actually want to thank all the probably hundreds of volunteers from the community who make that happen. So a huge thank you to the many people behind the scenes doing all the hard work, giving up their time to make this possible.
All of the money that has been raised will be put to very good use very soon in helping that armed forces community. So just on behalf of myself, on behalf of the British Legion, and on behalf of the tens of thousands of people in the armed forces and their dependents and families, I'd just like to say a huge thank you for everything that you've been able to do for my organisation. And thank you.
Following the guest speakers, cheques were presented to various charities such as the Royal British Legion, Humanity First and many others. In total, over £1 million was donated at the event. The proceedings were chaired by Mr. Mansoor Shah, the acting National President of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community UK. Respected National President also delivered the concluding address.
There are two objectives of our existence in this world. One is the right that we owe to our God, which is in our worship, in our acts of worship. And the other one is the right that we owe to mankind and looking after God's creation. Remember that every time that you go and do something which is a good deed in helping mankind in whatever field that you undertake, you will always be remembered, by God Almighty.
Following the address, the formal session was ended with a silent prayer.
Ameen. Thank you very much indeed once again.
The way that you're helping the communities of all faiths, of all types, is marvellous. And what I like about it is there's nothing coming back from the organisation. They're not expecting anything from you, but they're giving to people. And for me, that's absolutely fantastic.
Which a fantastic effort by everyone, particularly all the volunteers from across the UK's Ahmadiyyan community.
I mean, this is unique. I've not seen this. I'm the charity coordinator for Running Meet. Right. I am on it all the time, and the meter is never off of me. And I've never seen anything like this. A sponsored walk with a positive message, and then the match funding at the end of it. It's extraordinary. I mean, no one does this.
We have previous two functions were held in the Parliament, so they were at a much smaller scale because the hall was smaller. We had more MPs, but then the other guests were limited because of the numbers. Here, the Tahir Hall is much bigger. Having everyone together, I think, was a wonderful experience.
This report is brought to you from MT International, UK studios in London.